I'm doing a sort of like a 2-for-1 special today. Yeah, after my last little outing, I've got a few little things that I need to repair. Luckily, it's nothing too major. So I'm starting off with my Losi, and what I've got to do is I've taken off the front bulkhead and bell crank, the whole works, they've all come off. And what I've got to do is I've just got to retighten the servo saver. So I've got that out. Let's have a look. So it's this guy here that was actually loose. Actually pretty loose. I was actually wondering if the new Losi 5T 2.0, I wonder if the steering bell crank will work on this, because on the what they did on the 2.0 is they put this on the other side, so you don't need to have your bulkhead upside down. You can actually see, well, not too bad. Initially it looked like there was a bit of a rub mark, but you know, I wasn't getting steering on the one side and I couldn't figure out what it was. And yeah, so it was the bell crank that was loose. So we just got to tighten that up. I've got my manual out, and there is the setting there. So we got to get 1.75 mils from the bottom. I have my trusty caliper, and just for now, so I've got my thinners out and I've just cleaned the edge of the screw off. You can see it's quite dirty in there. I have my blue Loctite, and we've just got to re-measure that, just make sure that it's 1.75, just double check, put the screw back in, and then I think we're good to go. Okay, so I've got everything back together, and what was happening before is the servo horn, and you can see I've got the Losi billet servo horn. It was separating from the servo saver before, so I wasn't getting right hand turn. Seems to be working fine now. So that's one down, 2 to go. Right, so next on the operating table we've got the FG, and I'm guessing that it's got a insulator leak. Just wasn't keeping idle, bogging down, it wasn't really responding very well to tuning. I can only assume that it's the gaskets, and since I bought this car I've never actually changed them, so it's quite possible. Here I've got a whole bunch of stuff sitting in my spares department. So I reckon what I'm going to do is I'm just going to whip the carb off and check out, make sure that the insulator's not warped, and stick it all back together. Well, on first inspection it doesn't look very promising, eh? There's a whole lot of shite. Doesn't look too bad, hey? Could have been worse. It's a good idea to smear any little O-rings that seal your air boxes up. Even on a V-stack, it's a good idea just to put a light smearing of grease. And here I've put my Tornado diff grease on there. Got everything back on. So I've reset the carb, which is a 6.8, and right, so on to the next one. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'll remove the cage, remove the back shocks and the lower arms, the wheels. And what I really want to do is I want to undo all the bolts that hold the bulkhead and the transmission in the chassis plate. So I want to remove all the bolts in the chassis plate and see if I can just literally just lift up the transmission and the bulkheads and so forth, and slide the old brace out and put the new one in. Dean from Bonehead RC, thanks Dean, he sent me these all the way from the UK. So it's this one that I reckon is bent. I'll probably have to undo a few nuts and bolts on the top plate as well. Right, so there is the rear brace on my straight edge. Yeah, that's definitely bent. So a little bit of a frustrating time I've just had. Can you see the space in between the Bonehead brace and the stock HPR brace? And the Bonehead one is slightly smaller and it didn't want to fit. God dang it. Those. I didn't really loosen anything else on the bottom. Just about there. Just about a stick on the rear gear plate. Definitely a lot less pain getting this one out. Removed the upper arm pins. Just got to get those two guys out, and then we can put that in, and then the other one's pretty close. Just got to get those pins through on the other side. One-handed is a bit of a mission. I've just finished buttoning that up. There's a Bonehead brace over there, and there's a Bonehead brace over there. Those were so easy to do in relative terms compared to where is it? There it is, compared to that guy over there. That was an absolute epic nightmare to get in. I also have some stuff coming in the post, so I should be here this week, and to get the tank brace on that goes from there to there on the back of the chassis, I would have to remove the exhausts to get it on. So I'm just going to leave the twin as it stands. Yeah, and then hopefully this week I'll be able to get those on. And yeah, there's the rest of the crew. The latest addition to my arsenal. It's just a 32, one that I put together a couple of weeks ago. South Australian large scale race day, round 6 was scheduled for today. There were a couple of things. There was supposed to be rain. Luckily it didn't rain us off, and only a couple of people pitched up, so it was more of a grounds maintenance and so forth. But I did send a little FG around the track a couple of times. Check out what I did. Okay, so I'm at the track and I've got a dead starter. It hasn't been very smooth run today, but there's actually one car on the track. There he goes. Grubs up. Bit of a quiet day at the races. So, hope you guys all enjoyed. Here's the little FG. Oh, just one last note before we duck off. Developments for the FG. So I was at the track and the starter got jammed. Undid it. Yeah, got it back together. Third pull, bang. So that kind of sent me home early. Yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoy, and we'll catch you soon. Cheers.